Hello, this is Steve from Beaute's Leatherworks, and today's project is this very cool Truman Boot Company boot. Now these are solid boots, okay? We're going to do GR full soles and heels. Now, they're not in bad shape. Unfortunately, we have an issue with the uppers here. Stitching has come loose. The only way to get to that is you've got to remove the sole. This is called the stitched down construction because what you have, the uppers, they go like this and it gets stitched down. So in order to get to that tear, we've got to be able to remove those. There's two stitches there, you guys can see. One stitch is basically holding the sole on. The other stitch is holding a midsole to the uppers. I'll show you guys once I take them apart. But the only way to get to that is you've got to remove the second row stitch, lift that uppers up, and get underneath the tear, fix that, and then resole them. All right, so let's get started. Looky what I got here. You guys know what this is? This is like the holy grail of holy grails. I'll show you. Let me lower the camera down so I can show you guys. Remember my squeaky last? Look at that. Look. I'm so happy. And with that, no more squeaky lasts. I want to give a shout out to a gentleman from Baltimore, Maryland, named Raphael, and his son Daniel. Raphael Shoe Repair in Baltimore. They came and visited me Saturday, and they brought me a couple of goodies. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. This is like I said, the holy grail, right? The little things in life that make me happy. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. No more squeaking. Man, I hated that squeaking. It was so annoying. All right, let's continue. I don't really like that hump they have here. I mean, it's okay to have the hump here, but you have to level that when you put your base on so it kind of sits balanced. We'll fix that. Overall, it's a solid construction, even though that side seam came loose. You know, it's not bad. We'll just dig into it a little bit and see if we can find out anything else that we can improve on. I'm sure they don't like me telling them how to improve their boot builds, you know. But sometimes it takes an outside person to look at something and to say, you know what, try it this way. This might work a little better. We shall see. Lordy, Lordy, Lord. Well, my squeaky machine is not squeaky anymore. Yes, sir. My squeaky machine is not squeaky anymore. You guys have to understand that sometimes I get so preoccupied with what I do, I tend to forget to, to maintenance my machinery as much as I should. And, days go by, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, And finally you get fed up with something. You're like, okay, today's the day. So, but luckily it's not really a big issue. It's just a little squeaking. And it gives us a talking point whenever I make the video, so it's not too bad. But the squeak is no more. I don't know if I can handle all this. The squeaking on the last is gone. The squeaking in my 5-in-1 cutter is gone. Man, what else? I'm going to fix my compressor next. Oh, yes. Maybe we can do that. All right, so let's just cut these stitches here so we can pull this apart. All right, let's continue. Okay, so we got the midsole off. We can get to that tear like that. You guys see how it's constructed, right? This is the uppers. Most of the time, the uppers glue in like that, and this comes on top. Okay, this will be considered as a rapid Blake stitched. Okay, you're going to have your midsole stitched with a Blake stitch to the uppers, and then you're going to have your sole put on top, and Goodyear well outsole stitch, I should say. Okay, so instead of doing that, what the manufacturer did, right in the mid shank area here, okay, glued it in, and then flared the upper leather out. This is what makes a stitched down construction, because you're stitching down on the uppers here. So in order to get to that tear, we had to remove all this. Now we have access to repair that tear, and stitch that second row stitch, okay, and then once the sole comes on, do an outsole stitching the second stitch. Okay, let's continue. Now, what causes this tear? Okay, unfortunately, cap toes are notorious for the seams coming loose like that. Because of the pressure of flexing right there, sometimes it just, stitches give away, you know, and they come loose. Now, in order for the two pieces, the vamp and the cap toe, to be on top of each other, you have to skive the edges. Skiving means thinning it out, so it's not such a bulky feel after you glue them together. Now, is it possible that the manufacturer thinned it out a little too much? It's possible. And with the stress, it just kind of gave away. So you notice now that little tear has become a little bit bigger. So we're going to put a piece underneath it, okay, bridging these two pieces together, stitching it together, and then stitching it to the vamp area. And when it gets done, you shouldn't be able to notice there was a cut there or a tear. All right, let's continue. Now, these threads right here, okay, you can't just cut them and leave them. Over time, what might happen is they might start coming loose from the uppers. Okay, if that happens, you can't get to that area again. So what we're going to do, basically, just take this and put 2 knots in it. Tie it like that. One more. Okay. And then take a little lighter and melt that like that. It seals it a little bit. Now, we're going to start the new stitch from the end of the old one. So it'll be a continuous. And then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom here. You're going to tie the new threads so it's secure, it's not going anywhere once he starts wearing them. All right, let's continue. All right, here's our piece of leather. Now we thin the edges, okay? Because you don't want that hump there. You'll feel it. Well, you won't feel it through the foot, but over time of something rubbing on that surface, if it's got a high spot, it's going to be noticeable. Just basically here, just bring all the tear together. Now sometimes I put fabric like a nylon underneath my tears. This particular one, I'm going to put leather on there. And you got to make sure that the leather is not really stretchable too much. You don't want the tear opening back up again. You guys get the idea. Make sure there's no wrinkles underneath there. I'm going to put some stitches across here. And once it gets put together, and me banging my head on the camera, trying to look to see if it's in the picture. Okay, you get the idea. All right, let's continue. Listen. I'm a happy man. Come on, guys. You know that it's a matter of putting oil on the machine. It's not a big deal, you know. I just do it because it's like, you know, it's fun. We talk about it. Not really. Let's continue. Well, that was a bit nerve-wracking, I'll tell you. These stitches that you have to go into the same holes as what was there before. Now, this stitch was easy because we're stitching it this way where the sole is off. It's not on yet. So you can see the holes. If you go slow enough, you'll catch it in the same holes. So we got lucky with this one. Now it's time to glue the sole on, okay? And then we'll come in and do an outsole stitch and keeping our fingers crossed that we will make the second holes just like the first holes went in the original holes. All right, let's continue. Oh my God, I cracked myself up. What the heck? Got a strangler here. Straggler. Oh shit. It's hammer time. Oh lordy, 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 lordy. are not bad boots, you know. I think that I'm gonna give this like a 7 on a 1 through 10. All right, let's continue. Okay. How'd you do that? Just didn't feel comfortable for some reason, but it's in the holes. Let's try it again. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, let's continue. I got a big thumb. All right, welcome back. We're done with another project. Didn't turn out too bad. And it's not 100% hidden, but it's definitely reinforced where it's not going to come apart again. I mean, I reinforced it underneath with that leather. We put knots in the ends of the stitching and the beginning of stitching, so, and then stitch it right on top of it. It's not going anywhere. It's very sturdy. Now, these guys, I don't know much about them, okay, but I know that they're in Oregon, and I think their price range is around 400 and up, but they're not bad. I give them about a 7, I would say, maybe 6 or 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. But again, I'm not a boot guy. I mean, I don't know much about this type of boots. There are, there's another company, White's Boots, which are, I believe, around 600 range. Also, what's the other company? Viberg. Viberg is a good boot company, but that's a lot pricier than this is. Probably double and sometimes triple in some cases. I think that it's generally, it's not a bad constructed boot. It looks pretty durable. The leather midsole is not bad. Double stitches, leather heel base. I reused the leather heel base, by the way. It's the same heel base. It was good. It was good. It was good. It wasn't bad shape at all. Now I'm not sure about the toe. There's no toe counter here. I mean, the toe counter is supposed to give it some sturdiness, some shape to the toe. This one doesn't have it. I mean, literally, it just, there's no toe counter. There's a heel counter. The heel counter or toe counter is that hard stiffener that gives it shape, but there is no toe counter. So it's not too bad. Overall, you know, it's not a bad boot. Now this particular one was $340, if I'm not mistaken, for the job. Let's take a look. $350. This was a $350 job. Normally, it's not a difficult job, as you guys can see. You just have a little detail work where you have to take it apart to get to the problem area. Okay. Other than that, I mean, it was just a pair of regular full soles and heels. It makes it a little bit difficult, nerve-wracking to have light color stitches because you got to be precise with the stitches. If you're not precise, it's not going to look good because when you're wearing it, you're looking down on the boot. If something is off, it's going to bug the hell out of you. Okay, so white color stitches are always, especially double or triple stitches. There are welts that got 3 stitches on there. And it's just, those are nerve-wracking to do. But again, I think they turned out pretty good. I'm happy with them. I think the customer will be happy as well. All right. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. If you guys have any question, please email me, bedos@yahoo.com, bedos@yahoo.com. And if you want to go on the main page, if you're sending stuff in, on the right-hand side, basically I'll have a shipping form. You can fill that out, ship the item in. I'll contact you when the item gets in. And also, please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. All right. All right. Thank you again. We'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.